Ladies and gentlemen, failure isn't the end, it's just another chapter. Life will test you, it will push you to the edge. But remember, the moment you decide to stop trying, that's when you truly lose. Not when you fall, not when you stumble, but when you quit. Resilience isn't about never failing, it's about getting up every single time. Keep moving forward no matter how heavy the burden. Why? Because the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the strength to persevere. Let me share with you 10 guiding principles to live by. Failure is not the end of the road, it's merely a bend in the journey. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to feel like the world has crumbled beneath your feet. But take a step back and breathe. Failure is not a label that defines you, it's an opportunity to reflect, to understand, and to grow. Every great achievement in this world was built on the foundation of mistakes, missteps, and moments of doubt. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ability to see failure not as a verdict, but as a lesson. It's in those moments when you stumble that you learn how to walk stronger. It's when doors close that you find windows of opportunity. Failure whispers to you, this didn't work, but it also challenges you to ask, what will? It teaches you resilience, sharpens your character, and pushes you beyond the limits you once thought unbreakable. Each failure is a mirror, showing you where you can improve, where you can refine, and where you can rise higher than you ever imagined. When you shift your perspective, you'll see that failure is not a force to fear, but a teacher to respect. It doesn't mean you're unworthy or incapable, it simply means you're human. And humans, by their very nature, are built to learn, adapt, and overcome. The most important thing to remember is this: failure is never final unless you decide it is. Use it as fuel, let it ignite the fire within you, and keep moving forward with the quiet strength that says, this is not the end of me. Endurance is the quiet force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's not flashy, not loud, it doesn't demand attention. But it is there, steady and unshakable, carrying you through the darkest of nights and the heaviest of storms. Endurance doesn't mean you won't feel the weight of your struggle or the sting of your setbacks. It means you keep going despite them. Life will test you time and time again. The road will get rough, the winds will howl, and there will be moments when every fiber of your being begs you to stop. But endurance whispers, not yet. It's not about moving fast or making leaps and bounds, it's about putting one foot in front of the other when the finish line feels like a distant dream. Endurance is about showing up day after day, even when the world gives you every reason not to. It's in the quiet strength of holding on when letting go feels easier. It's in the courage to take another step when you're weary and broken. And as you endure, something extraordinary happens. You grow stronger, more resilient, more capable than you ever thought possible. The truth is, the journey to anything worth having is rarely smooth. There will be valleys before there are peaks, deserts before there is rain. But if you can outlast the struggle, if you can keep moving when the odds are stacked against you, you'll discover something remarkable. The struggle doesn't defeat you, it transforms you. It shapes you into someone who doesn't just survive but thrives. And in that quiet persistence, you'll find the power to achieve what once seemed impossible. The battle you fight is won or lost long before you take your first step. It begins in your mind. The thoughts you allow to take root, the beliefs you choose to hold, they shape the path ahead of you. If you walk into any challenge thinking you've already been defeated, then you've handed over your power without even swinging a fist. But if you carry within you the quiet assurance that you can rise above, no matter the odds, then the battle has already shifted in your favor. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. It can magnify obstacles or illuminate opportunities. The difference isn't in the circumstances, it's in how you choose to perceive them. When you believe you're capable, when you see yourself as strong, resilient, and worthy, you tap into a strength that no external force can diminish. But let's be real, this isn't easy. Doubt will creep in, whispering lies that you're not enough. Fear will try to paralyze you, and the shadows of past failures will threaten to haunt your steps. This is where the true fight begins. You have to train your mind as a warrior trains their body. You have to feed it with courage, discipline it with truth, and guard it against the poison of negativity. You see, life doesn't guarantee victory to the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. It rewards those who refuse to quit. Those who keep showing up with a mindset that says, I'm not here to lose. I'm here to overcome. The world may throw its worst at you, but as long as you hold your ground in your mind, you are never truly defeated. That's where your power lies, in the belief that no matter what comes your way, you are more than capable of rising above it. Fear is a quiet thief, stealing dreams in the dead of night, long before they ever see the light of day. It doesn't shout, it whispers, planting seeds of doubt that grow into towering walls between you and your potential. Fear tells you to stay where it's safe, to avoid the unknown, to settle for less because the risk feels too great. But the truth is, fear doesn't protect you, it imprisons you. It locks you away from the life you were meant to live. The thing about fear is that it feeds on hesitation. The more you dwell on it, the stronger it becomes. It magnifies every possibility of failure and blinds you to the opportunities waiting just beyond your comfort zone. But here's the secret: fear is only as powerful as you allow it to be. When you face it head on, when you step into the very thing that scares you, you begin to see fear for what it really is: an illusion. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act in spite of it. Every time you move forward, even with trembling hands and a racing heart, you weaken fear's grip on your life. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than the doubts that try to hold you back. And each small victory over fear builds a foundation of confidence that no storm can shake. Life was never meant to be lived in the shadows of what-ifs. The greatest rewards come to those who are willing to take the leap, who trust that even if they fall, they'll find a way to rise again. Fear will always try to stand in your way. But remember this: it cannot decide your future unless you let it. The choice is yours to shrink back and let fear rule you, or to step forward and take what's waiting on the other side. Progress isn't always dramatic. It's not always marked by fireworks or applause. Often it's quiet, unassuming, almost invisible. But it's there, in the small, deliberate steps you take every day. Every moment you choose to keep going, no matter how insignificant it feels, moves you closer to where you're meant to be. The truth is, progress is rarely about giant leaps. It's about the steady, relentless motion forward, inch by inch, step by step. There will be days when you look around and see no results, when it feels like you're running in place while the world moves ahead without you. Doubt will try to convince you that your efforts are in vain, that you might as well stop because nothing seems to be changing. But progress is like a seed planted in the soil. For the longest time, you see nothing. You water it, nurture it, and still the earth looks barren. Yet beneath the surface, roots are taking hold, and one day, seemingly out of nowhere, that seed breaks through. You can't always measure progress with your eyes. Sometimes it's internal. It's in the strength you're building, the resilience you're developing, and the discipline you're forging. Each step forward matters, even the ones that feel like they're leading nowhere. Because any movement keeps you from standing still, and standing still is the only true failure. Life rewards persistence, not perfection. Success doesn't demand that you sprint, it asks only that you keep walking. Keep showing up for yourself, for your dreams, for the life you want to create. Each step, no matter how small, is a declaration you're still in the fight. And when the day comes that all those small steps add up to a breakthrough, you'll look back and realize that the journey was worth every moment, every effort, every step forward. There will always be voices, some loud, others subtle, telling you that you can't. People will line up to doubt you, to critique you, to tell you what you're incapable of achieving. Sometimes these voices come from strangers, other times they're closer than you'd like to admit. But you must understand something vital: what others say about you has nothing to do with what you're capable of. Their doubts reflect their limits, not yours. Doubt, when directed at you, is often born out of fear that you'll succeed where others couldn't. Fear that your progress will shine a light on their complacency. People project their insecurities, their failures, and their fears onto those who dare to dream big. But their opinions are not your reality. The only voice that truly matters is the one inside you. It's tempting to defend yourself, to argue, to prove the doubters wrong in the moment. But the best way to silence them isn't with words, it's with results. Keep your head down and your focus sharp. Let your actions speak louder than their skepticism. Every step you take forward, every goal you achieve, chips away at the walls they tried to build around you. Understand this: people doubted every great achievement before it became reality. They doubted the inventor before the invention, the pioneer before the breakthrough, the underdog before the victory. But the doubters are not the ones who shape history, it's those who refuse to listen to them. So let their doubts fuel your fire, not extinguish it. Let their disbelief remind you why you're fighting in the first place. You don't need validation from the outside world. Your worth, your strength, your potential, they come from within. Let the doubters doubt. You're not here to live within their limitations. You're here to break through them. Keep moving forward quietly, relentlessly, and let your success be the only answer they'll ever need. Life has a way of making you believe that where you are now is all there is. It can convince you that the pain, the disappointment, the struggle, it's permanent, that the chapter you're living is the entire story. But let me tell you something, your story isn't over yet. No matter how dark it seems, no matter how many pages feel filled with failure, there's always another chapter waiting to be written, and you hold the pen. The world may try to label you by your past, your mistakes, your shortcomings, your losses, but those are just moments, not definitions. They are pieces of the journey, not the entirety of who you are. Where you've been does not dictate where you're going, unless you let it. Every day you wake up, you have the chance to turn the page, to write something new, something better, something that reflects the person you are becoming. But here's the truth, it won't always be easy. The hardest part of writing your next chapter is believing that it's possible. Doubt will try to convince you that this is it, that you're stuck, that you've gone as far as you can go. Don't listen. Those are lies told by fear and past failures. They don't know the power of your perseverance, the strength of your spirit, or the fire inside you that refuses to be extinguished. The beauty of life is that it's fluid, ever-changing. Just because today feels heavy doesn't mean tomorrow can't be lighter. Just because you've fallen doesn't mean you can't rise higher than ever before. The greatest transformations happen not in spite of the struggle, but because of it. The pain, the setbacks, the hard days, they're all shaping you, preparing you for the chapters ahead. So, don't close the book. Don't stop writing. Your story isn't over yet, and the next chapter could be the one that changes everything. Keep believing, keep fighting, and know that the best is still unwritten. Pain is a part of life. It cuts deep, leaves scars, and sometimes feels unbearable. But pain isn't the enemy, it's a messenger. It tells you where you've been wounded, where you've been stretched, and where you've been forced to grow. It's tempting to let pain define you, to let it weigh you down and convince you that you're too broken to move forward. But what if, instead of letting pain crush you, you chose to let it shape you? What if you turned that pain into power? The thing about pain is that it doesn't leave you the same. It has the ability to either break you or build you, and the choice lies in how you respond to it. You see, pain can teach you things that comfort never could. It shows you your limits, and then it challenges you to push beyond them. It reveals your weaknesses, but also uncovers a strength you didn't know you had. Turning pain into power doesn't mean pretending it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean ignoring the tears or suppressing the heartache. It means facing it head on, acknowledging it, and choosing to rise anyway. Every setback, every betrayal, every loss, it all has the potential to fuel your resilience. Pain, when embraced and understood, can become the very thing that propels you forward. Life has a way of using pain to prepare you for what's next. The weight of your struggle strengthens the muscles of your spirit. The fire of your trials refines you, burning away the doubts and fears that hold you back. And when you come out on the other side, you're not just stronger, you're unshakable. So let the pain do its work. Let it stretch you, challenge you, and ultimately empower you. Don't run from it, don't let it win. Because when you choose to turn your pain into power, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're proving to yourself and the world that nothing can keep you down. That in itself is power. Quitting may seem easy, especially when the road ahead feels endless, but it comes with a price far greater than struggle. When you quit, you don't just lose a battle, you lose a part of yourself, the part that believed in the possibility of something more. Giving up means settling for less than you're capable of, less than you deserve, and less than you've dreamed of. But what if you could see beyond the moment? What if you could realize that your breakthrough might be just one step away? The hardest moments are often the ones right before the tide turns. It's when the weight feels unbearable, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, and when doubt shouts the loudest that you're closest to a breakthrough. Life doesn't reward those who stop when it gets hard. It rewards those who keep going, who find a way to push through the exhaustion, the fear, and the uncertainty. Quitting isn't the absence of effort, it's the absence of faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your journey, and faith in the purpose that's driving you forward. When you choose to keep going, even when every fiber of your being is telling you to stop, you're making a declaration that your goals, your dreams, your future are worth fighting for. And they are. You may not see the progress right now. You may not feel like you're getting anywhere. But every step you take, no matter how small, is building momentum. Every time you refuse to quit, you're proving to yourself and to the world that you are stronger than your circumstances. The effort you're putting in now is laying the foundation for something far greater than you can imagine. So when the temptation to quit creeps in, remember why you started. Remember the vision that lit a fire in your heart and the strength you've already shown to make it this far. You've faced challenges before, and you've overcome them. This moment is no different. Keep going, because the only true failure is giving up. The reward is coming, but it's only for those who stay the course. The path to success is rarely a straight line. It twists, it turns, and sometimes it takes you places you never expected. But here's the truth: the road less traveled is often the one that leads to greatness. It's easy to follow the crowd, to take the predictable route, to play it safe and stay within the confines of what's comfortable. But the real breakthroughs happen when you choose to stand apart, to trust in your own journey, even when it doesn't look like everyone else's. Walking your own path requires courage, a courage that doesn't come from the absence of fear, but from the willingness to take that first step despite it. When you forge your own way, you won't have a map to follow. There will be no guarantees, no blueprint for success. It's uncharted territory, and the unknown can be daunting. But it's also where the magic happens. The most incredible discoveries, the most profound growth, often come from venturing outside of what's familiar. When you stop trying to fit into a mold that wasn't made for you, when you stop measuring your progress against someone else's timeline, you give yourself the freedom to grow into who you were truly meant to be. Your potential isn't defined by the paths others have walked. It's defined by the courage to create your own. People will doubt you, question your decisions, and wonder why you're not following the crowd. But remember, every great success story started with someone willing to do what others wouldn't. The world doesn't need another copy of what already exists. It needs your unique perspective, your voice, your vision. Don't be afraid to let your journey look different from everyone else's. Embrace it, because that's where your power lies. In the end, the journey isn't about reaching a destination, it's about the growth you experience along the way. The challenges you face, the lessons you learn, and the person you become through it all, that is the true reward. So when you're faced with a choice, choose the road less traveled. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because in the end, it's the path you carve for yourself that will lead you to places you never imagined. Life is not a game of perfection, but perseverance. So when the world knocks you down, don't stay there. Rise, fight, and remind yourself you only lose when you give up.